All right, good evening, everybody. I'd like to welcome you to our special meeting for tonight, July 11th. Would everybody please stand for the pledge? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Resolution 2016-185, expenditure of no more than $2,000 to purchase computer equipment for the Village of Rhinebeck in connection with a certain county municipal shared services technology grant. May I have a motion?
Motion.
And a second? Any discussion?
Well,
This is it.
so we've been working on this for over 2 years. There's an IMA, an intermunicipal agreement, that we're asking the village to sign no later than day after tomorrow, which is basically 24 hours after their meeting tomorrow night. Gary Bassett and I have worked on this together, and we agree. We were empowered by the two boards to represent our respective boards. The second part of this resolution says that one of the conditions for agreement is that Gary and I will be empowered to select a single vendor to maintain the shared equipment and the workstations in both the town and the village, and that the village will agree that they're going to use the funds to purchase equipment that will give them access to the shared servers. And finally, that the county this is all subject to approval by the county.
The county has approved this, the county is in favor of this, but they want to approve any equipment that the village buys to make sure that it is in keeping with the spirit of the grant, which was...
So we should probably modify this to say, on item 1, insert the phrase no later than 7.
You want to make a resolution to amend?
Yeah, so I move to amend
I'll
this
second.
resolution by adding the following. First of all, on the first contingency, the village signing no later than the end of business on 7/13.
So the village signing the intermunicipal cooperation agreement and the amendment to the municipal cooperation agreement.
No later than.
June. This
No
is
later
June.
Well,
than.
this was,
No.
we
We approved it in
approved it
June.
at our June meeting.
Oh, okay,
We
got it.
want the village to approve it no later than.
Oh, I see. I
Close
get
of
it.
business on Wednesday.
Okay, great.
So after the 2016, no later,
No later than
And-
7/13/16.
End of July 13th?
of business,
End of business.
7, what, 13?
Yeah, 7/13/16
Okay.
is Wednesday. On item 3, delete thin client workstations and displays and substitute hardware to access shared servers and services.
I
Hardware
would-
and software, and necessary.
Hardware and software.
And software.
To access the central server per the grant.
Right.
Okay.
And the last one is approval of hardware, of purchases approved by the county. Yeah, it's number 4. Thank you. Did somebody second my motion?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I seconded it.
Okay.
Is there a typo in paragraph 2, the second to last line, it says and beginning?
And,
yes.
should be and. Okay, all in favor of the amendments?
Aye.
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 Motion passes. All in favor of the resolution?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Gary, thanks for working on this. We wish you good luck at your meeting tomorrow night. I guess this is our last-ditch attempt to come to an agreement.
Been a shared experience,
Yes, it has been.
being of sharing servers.
Thank you.
Well, hopefully it'll work.
Any new business?
Yes. Okay, so you have to forgive me. I'm going to read straight from the email pieces because I haven't had a chance to really absorb all of this thoroughly. So our wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Suzanne, who's done so much work on preparing for the repair of the cemetery walls, received an engineer estimate for the stone wall work. I don't have that amount in front of me, but you're going to need that obviously when you go out to bid, and also for your grant applications. And you had asked the question about whether we need the multiple bids, and Elizabeth, you had suggested that we discuss this here as a board as far as the process.
I know that it's professional services, so it could be exempt. However, I can't remember whether or not in our reorg, if we appointed an engineer to the town, or a town engineer, or if
Yeah,
we
we did,
skipped
Weston
that.
and Sampson.
Did we, John? Do you have any idea?
I think we have one.
So I thought that just Warren should be asked about that, whether or not we have to go out to bid, and whether or not, and I think the town board has to pick the engineer, not a committee.
Okay.
That's
I
my
did
own-
ask Warren, I haven't heard back from him yet. I did forward him the email.
He's just back from vacation.
Yes, exactly. So I haven't heard from him yet.
I mean, I think I'm comfortable with doing a competitive bid just to make sure we get the best price. And what was the amount? Do we have any idea?
What was the amount, Suzanne? Do you remember?
I think it was 5,800 total. I think that sounds about right, yeah.
I mean,
Do you mean actually going out for bid, or do you mean three estimates?
our procurement policy is very clear on what it is, and we would need 3 estimates.
3 estimates, yeah.
So, yeah, okay.
I mean, I don't know how you guys feel, but I don't know this firm. We've never worked with them. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I don't, do you want to say something about the firm? Like, do you have experience with them, or?
I don't,
Okay.
but they came recommended by some other stone masons there in Kingston. So we had 2 other engineers who worked for the town previously give us some information as we were looking at the wall, but they didn't offer to, write up anything for us, so. And then we thought Dave Queen was going to do it, but then he couldn't renew his license without it costing a lot of money, so then we had to go this route, because that's what I had said last time. So whatever you folks want to do is fine with me. It's just more of a time issue, that's all. Yeah.
Okay, because to apply for the grants.
Yeah.
So what are you looking for in terms of turnaround? Because I'll be happy to do whatever needs to be done to help meet
Well, it
that
would be great if we,
deadline.
I mean, I would love to be able to get it done, by the end of the month.
Okay, and our next
Yeah.
meeting is July 25th. So I guess then the question would be, if we want 3 bids, would we want those?
I mean, I don't know what you guys feel. It seems like,
Well, I'll speak for myself, of course. My feeling is, because I know Suzanne so well, as far as like her professionalism, her process of seeking out the right people, knowing that she would go through the proper channels to get the information she needs, I feel pretty confident with any recommendation she would bring to me, because I know her and trust her.
I mean, if we have an engineer that works for the town, that makes sense too. Whatever you folks want to do, it's fine by me as long as it happens quickly.
So if we did the 3 bids, you'd need it then by our meeting on the 25th, we'd need a resolution in place. So
And I might need-
You'd have to get me those 3 bids.
Well,
in
this is the
advance.
other thing. If I do need 2 other ones, I might need some recommendations from you folks about who to go to.
I'd just like Warren to weigh, I'm
Okay.
loath
I'd
to
like
appoint
to
someone
do-
tonight. I'd like Warren to weigh in on it. Also, his contract had a lot of stuff that wasn't included, like meetings, so the price could go up exponentially. I might want a firm bid
Okay.
price. Those are just my concerns.
Okay.
I don't want to slow this down.
Yeah.
I just want to,
That's fine.
No, that's reasonable, that's totally reasonable.
Yeah.
Okay. So when I hear back from Warren, and maybe what I'll do is call him again in the morning. I know he's probably backlogged right now, but I also know there's a time issue, so that we can do whatever we need to allow you.
Yeah,
to
and if
get it
you
done.
need me to go and find these estimates again, I just would like some recommendations, who and who else to go to.
Do we have any
yeah,
recommendations?
Yeah.
Oh,
We have
great.
them all in the clerk's office.
That'd be great.
We have people we usually work with.
Okay.
But we should write out a specific specs of what we want, so everyone's bidding on the same thing.
Oh, yeah, no, I know. Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
sounds good.
Good. Okay, great.
Thanks a lot,
Yep.
Susanna and Mickey.
Okay, yeah, thanks always for coming and your work on this, continued work on the
Yeah.
cemetery. Okay, I have one last piece of business. Connie Lown, who runs our community garden, called today. She wanted me to approve allowing Bobby to pick up some aged manure for the community garden. And I said I'd run it by you guys because I can't approve anything.
Aged manure?
Yeah, they need the manure for the community garden. It's fine with me. You guys all right with that?
Sounds good.
Yeah. Okay, I'll tell her, go ahead.
Just got the time?
Who
I don't
knows?
know what that is, but it's
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah. Any other business before the board? Any
I have
other-
just a question.
Yeah.
Did we ever hear anything back from the Coast Guard when we sent our, after the last meeting? No.
I wasn't included in anything, so.
Okay, I haven't
I
seen
talked
anything
briefly to Sandy Williams and just said, you're doing diligence and.
Oh, no, I'm talking about the Coast Guard with the lights on the river, the anchorage sites.
Oh, I'm sorry, Sheriff's Department, Coast Guards.
Yeah.
No, what we did was we passed a resolution to call for a public hearing. So the public hearing will happen sometime, I think it's in September. So
Okay.
we've asked for a public hearing. I'm also going to reach out to the city of Kingston and Esopus and find out where they are on it, because it has concerns, and we need a public
Absolutely.
hearing. And then we need to get our citizens
Yep.
at the public hearing. So
Okay,
it's
great.
all the process. We've registered and say we wanted a public hearing. I think there's a big petition for a public hearing. I
Okay.
didn't think we were going to hear back.
I wasn't sure
Yeah.
what the, okay,
But,
great. And
I'm-
just to update you, since you did mention you hadn't heard anything back, I can let you know, I did a lot of work after our last meeting as far as the Dutchess County Sheriff's proposal, and I put together a list of questions that I raised here at the board when we met, and questions that some residents in Rhinecliff raised, like Carolyn Blackwood had some concerns and questions, and she felt very strongly, and I completely agree with her, that before any decision is made, there should be a forum with Rhinecliff residents, since they're the ones who will really be most affected with the noise that might increase down there, the environmental impact, like, not just like environmental water, air quality, but
Didn't we have a public forum and a public hearing in conjunction with our master plan, which includes this?
no, because it didn't really, because there were too many, see, the master plan liked the idea of it, but the master plan was what I was basing a lot of my questions on. Questions they had in the master plan before they felt that they could approve something like this. Like, see, the idea of the master plan was a vision for the
Right.
dock, but the master plan also stipulated that before any one piece of this could go into effect, it would require another review of CAB, because it's just a vision of what could be done
Okay.
at the dock.
Even if we do a one-year trial with them,
Well, they don't even want to do it till next year, so
Right.
why not get the answers that we need first?
don't we have a deadline with them, because weren't they going to go to another town?
Someplace else.
I don't know, but here's my concern. When I contacted Gerard and I told him what the questions were, and these were questions that came up in the master plan, by the way, and even the members who were all in favor of it said these questions really need to be answered before the town should do anything, because it is going to have an impact on the dock area, on both the residents and on the bulkhead. And Gerard was basically, when I sent him some of the questions, was like, well, I don't really have any answers to these questions right now. And I said, well, would you be willing to come to a forum? And I had arranged it with the Rhinecliff Firehouse. They were going to give us Friday evening and Saturday morning this past weekend. And he said, I'm not ready for that yet. I would have to take these questions back. So if they're not ready to answer
so
some
he's
basic
gotta-
questions, then I don't think we should go forward.
Okay, so he's got to get
Yeah,
some
Sounds reasonable.
basic
yeah,
questions.
exactly.
Okay, so it's working.
Yeah, they have all the questions that we had for them.
And
So
what if
now
they
I'm
don't-
waiting for them.
What if they don't get back to us at all?
Well, the onus is on them. They're coming to us asking to use our dock. I mean,
Well,
they
yeah.
they have the questions. As far
actually,
as I'm
they weren't using
concerned,
our
they
dock,
should come
they're
back to
gonna
us with
build their own
answers.
Hold on, try not to talk over, let you go ahead.
I know, but they're gonna build their own dock. They said that.
Well, they can't build it and put it there without our permission. It belongs
No,
to the
we
town of
have to-
Rhinebeck.
right.
And it's connected to our existing bulkhead, so
Right, they can't do that. Do they know that, Ed?
I don't know.
Okay, I'll have to make sure they understand
They
that.
know.
That they can't just go and attach down there without,
Oh, yeah, they came to ask our permission.
Right,
They wanted to
exactly.
partner with us to do this.
Right.
Yeah. I don't think there's any misunderstanding. My concern is that I'd like to try it. I think it's important for public safety.
but you realize that the Rhinecliff Firehouse, because one of the things that I've been doing in my research is looking through all this to see what there's an emergency boat at the firehouse already in Rhinecliff. So, I mean, this is why I think we really need discussion with the sheriff's department, because there are very legitimate questions that have been raised about the noise, the increase in traffic down there, the damage to the bulkhead, the cost to the town. There's a lot that needs to be addressed, I
Okay.
think.
All right, fair enough. I didn't mean to cut you off. Were
Oh,
you-
no, I was
okay.
done, that's good.
Apropos of that, we've been getting increased complaints about parking at the dock.
Mm-hmm.
And
No park.
people are parking where they're not supposed to be parking, boaters can't get in and out. I think I've met with Pete, and I've directed him to go down there more often and patrol, so it's on every patrol, and move people along and ticket them. I think we're trying to change behavior. We pulled the V&T laws about where you can park, and I think we may have to look at that to change it. I think we may have to go down with Pete and Barry and move the handicap parking and maybe not allow people to park there during boating season. I think, and I don't know, but what's been said is it's probably we're trying to accommodate too many uses down there, and it's too small a space. And if we have handicap parking for people who want to be at the pier, that's great, but the other people might have to park at the Amtrak parking and walk across, and then boaters go in and out. We have to look at it. People,
Well, okay, sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but one thing that was in the master plan, they talked about this, the signage, and they said one of the biggest problems at the river is the confusion with the signage. That some of the signage that's meant to direct people on where they can park, what's handicapped, how long they can park at a designated place, where public parking is available, that there's a lot of confusion.
I agree.
And it was one of their recommendations in the master plan was to get new signage and look at this current signage that exists.
Well, I think the signs are up correctly according to our law. We may have to change our law.
Well, we should go back and look at the master plan, and I'd be happy if you want by the next meeting to come with the specific pages and what they talk about with
Great.
respect to the signage.
Great.
Because now the Rhine Cliff Waterfront Committee is under recreation, so if we want to do signage and we want to, improve what's happening down there with respect to the signage, it's something that your committee would now have to take up. So I'll bring that to the next board meeting.
I think what I'm going to do in advance of that is try and get down there with Peter Dunn,
Uh-huh.
with our law, and look at what it is and see what he has to say about it.
Yeah.
But we're getting several calls a week,
These are from people trying to launch boats. that
people
can't.
trying to launch boats and,
Parking
yeah.
where they're not supposed to. You know what I'll do? I'll email you and Pete. I'll copy and paste from the sections, just so when you are down there looking at the signage, you can think about it in respect to, because this is the benefit of the waterfront master plan, is that these guys
We had
spent
an
an
engineer
inordinate amount of
look at it,
time
yeah.
down there, really evaluating everything. I mean, they didn't just go down and do a quick look-see. I mean, this was a
Maybe what
feasibility
they
study.
say is what we need
That's
to
right.
change our law to.
It would help you, I think, when you're
Yep.
down there. So I'll email you guys the
Okay.
information from the master plan.
And that's all I have. Anybody else?
Nope.
Any other issues, announcements?
Nope,
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. Thank you. Good night.